What is good, Raider Nation? It's your boy Raider Alex back with another video. Holy shit, the Las Vegas Raiders season continues to get worse. Let's talk about it. Before I get started on that, anybody that is new to the channel and you guys love Raiders related content like this, make sure to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. With that being said, let's jump right into it. Now, the Las Vegas Raiders 2022 season just continues to get worse as they lose to the Indianapolis Colts 25-20, which, look, at the end of the day, I was not shocked. Just the way the season has gone, this was just the perfect scenario for this team to just show us, basically have us endure another rock bottom from this team, losing to an interim head coach with zero head coaching experience in Jeff Saturday, which, say what you want about Jeff Saturday, whether or not he deserved this opportunity he got with the Colts. At the end of the day, it looks like he has something that this coaching staff, particularly Josh McDaniels, does not have, which is leadership. Just look at the speech that he gave to the media when he was announced as the interim coach. Look at his first post-game speech following the victory against the Raiders. Man, you can just see how a football team can gravitate towards him, how they can be motivated and committed to playing for a guy like that. Which, one of my main issues with Coach McDaniels has been just that, his leadership, and it only continues to get worse week in and week out. It's just crazy at this point. We look at the body language this team displays during games, during crucial situations, during the post-game press conferences, and honestly, look, it just looks like something is not right in Vegas. When you got your starting quarterback, Derek Carr, just getting very emotional following this loss to the Colts, which, look, I have been critical of Derek Carr this season, but man, it was still tough to watch him go out and not be able to control his emotions out there. Personally, I think Carr, he sees the writing on the wall. His days as the Raiders quarterback are numbered, and frankly, I would assume his days in the NFL are numbered. I'm just going based off what he said in the past. He said if he's not going to play for the Raiders, he's just going to retire. So I think that definitely boils into why he got so emotional up there. But you can just tell something is not right with this team. But I really do think that kills Derek Carr, and that really is what made him so emotional up there. But this is also a reason on why I think we need to move on from Derek Carr. Look, there's just been so much within these 9 years put on him and this franchise have gone through at this point. I think it's just really best for both parties to move on, to have a fresh start. Like I said, with Carr, I don't know if he would eventually be willing to go to a different team. He said in the past that he would rather retire than play anywhere else with the Raiders. He might, he might just enjoy his retirement. If he does, good luck to him. But following the loss, Derek Carr essentially stated how it pisses him off, the amount of work these players, the amount of physical damage these players have to put themselves through just to practice, let alone play in these games. And for this to be the result of all that effort, he stated how that just pisses him off and how it pisses a lot of other guys off. But he also stated, and I wish everybody in that room felt the same way. So obviously Derek Carr feels that certain people within this team are not fully invested like others are. Also, take a look at what our star wide receiver Davante Adams had to say following the loss as well. Essentially, Davante stated that this team just does not have enough guys who want to make those game-changing plays that can win you games. He specifically stated, I just don't got enough guys that are fully bought in. If you look at it, you got the main leaders in the locker room essentially saying that not everyone in this locker room is on the same page, that not everyone really wants it as badly as other players do. And look, at the end of the day, it's the coach's job to motivate and to keep the locker room united and hold players accountable, which, just going based on, players' comments throughout this season and how this season has unfolded, it does not seem like that has been done thus far. I think a lot can be said about a team if you look at their head coach. A lot of teams will really inherit the personality, the mindset of their coach. Example, like you look at the Pittsburgh Steelers with Mike Tomlin, the Kansas City Chiefs with Andy Reid, even the Raiders way back in the day when we had John Madden, a tough, gritty guy, a blue-collar guy at the head coaching position. And that's the type of personality this team inherited back then. That's the type of style they played with. But when you look at McDaniels, especially following these terrible losses, this guy just looks absolutely defeated. He looks lost. He looks nervous just based on the way he talks, his body language. I just think it's evident that this guy is losing the locker room. And the issue is, once you lose that locker room, I've never seen a scenario where a coach is able to recover from that. Basically, the way this season has gone, the way we just lost, I really think we need to send a message, and somebody's got to get fired. Now look, it could be defensive coordinator Patrick Graham or another coordinator like Mick Lombardi, a special teams coordinator, whoever you want to choose to be that scapegoat. But ultimately, I think we need to move on from Coach McDaniels. Personally, I just don't believe in him anymore. I just don't believe this guy can turn things around. And look, I typically am not the type of guy who just believes in, a high amount of turnover within an organization, firing people left and right so quickly. But this man in this season, just how bad things have been going, just how underwhelming this season has gone. It's almost to the point where McDaniels really isn't giving this organization any other option but to move on from the guy. It just looks like he's in way over his head. McDaniels, at this point, he has to meet this organization, this franchise, halfway. He has to show them something. He has to show something that we can truly believe in and invest in with him moving forward. And I just don't see that from Coach McDaniels. Now, will the Raiders actually fire Josh McDaniels? Will owner Mark Davis make that bold, drastic decision like we all know his father, the late, great Al Davis, would? Look, I don't think so, at least not in this moment. Maybe in the offseason, if we just have a completely pathetic season where we win 3 to 4 games, something like that, we have a top 5 draft pick, maybe I can see something like that happening. But even then, if you're gonna go that far to stick with McDaniels, at that point, you might as well just give him a full off season. I just feel like that's what's gonna happen. I feel like they're gonna give him an off season where he's likely gonna have some high draft capital, likely a top 5 NFL draft pick. We just have to hope and pray the Raiders can hit on those draft picks, because historically the Raiders just have not been able to do that. Maybe that can change under the leadership of general manager Dave Ziegler. Hopefully he can make the right picks, and also through a full free agency period where they can bring in guys that'll fit their system, their schemes on offense and defense. I think at that point, Mark Davis is going to give McDaniels that chance to completely turn this thing around next season. And I think if he can't get it done next season, if we're struggling next season, if it looks just as bad as it looks this year, if it just looks like Josh McDaniels is not the guy that can lead this team moving forward, start to struggle next year in the early part of the season, whatever the case may be, I think at that point is really when Mark Davis would pull the plug. But who knows, man? This season is just getting so bad. I wouldn't be shocked if next week gets even worse. Who knows? Maybe something drastic happens with this team. Maybe somebody gets fired. Ultimately, man, I think the main guy that's got to go, the ultimate leader on this coaching staff, has to be Josh McDaniels. So, I personally, man, I just have zero faith in McDaniels at this moment. But look, hopefully I am wrong. Hopefully, for the sake of this team, hopefully this guy can make the right moves in the offseason and ultimately build a winning culture, something that has been lacking for decades now within the Raiders. But man, it is just so tough to be a Raiders fan at this point, just because it's crazy. Like I said, I didn't expect us to win. Like, honestly, I'm not surprised that we lost this game, but just, oh my god, it just, when it happens in the moment, you really can't believe it. You just can't believe how bad this team looks at certain situations, how bad the defense looks, and on third downs, how we can just let people walk in the end zone, it feels like at times. Just kind of like I said, man, the body language, the intensity this team came out with, especially to start this game, is something that you don't want to see from this team. And ultimately that falls back with the head coach Josh McDaniels. Ultimately, I don't love it. I'm not confident in this guy at the moment. Raider Nation, let me know in the comment section down below, what do you guys feel we should do with Josh McDaniels at this moment? Let me know down below. But with that being said, Raider Nation, that is all I have for you guys in today's video. Anybody that is new to the channel and you guys love Raiders related content like this, make sure to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. With that being said, I will see you guys in the next one.